But look, it's not just about Crawford. It's not just about Saudi being in the U.S. market. We're gonna go down the card now. A lot of fights to talk about.
Okay.
I can't believe that after one fight, I forgot to put in the damn bandage. Is the one I'm most excited about.
Which one?
Vergil Ortiz versus Tim.
My son always says there's one good fight in the whole card. In my opinion,
now there's multiple good fights in this card, but there
is. But Vergil Ortiz against Tim Tszyu, bring it on, baby. I'll pay to see that.
That fight could be a main event on its own, honestly.
Right.
And it's not even co-main event.
So
at least I don't think it is.
As a promoter, let's play whatever you call the thing. You always say
devil's advocate.
The devil's advocate. If you were a promoter, would you put this as a main event, or you think that Crawford, because his name is going to sell or bring more to the?
I mean, they're in LA. Vergil Ortiz, Mexican American. This, in my opinion, this is the actual real main event.
That's what I'm saying. There you go.
Like Tim Tszyu has gained a lot of respect from the American fans, even in the loss, because of
right.
how he handled himself with all the adversity. This is a great fight. I mean, Vergil Ortiz, the Golden Boy Promotions is finally taking the training. If of course he gets past Thomas DeLorme, Golden Boy Promotions is finally taking the training wheels off of him. It's no more Maurice Hooker, no more Michael McKinson, no more Frederick. Like, he's actually gonna fight somebody that when punches are thrown back at him,
he's stepping
those
up.
punches could actually hurt him.
Yeah.
Because Golden Boy has been very careful about how they matched him. In my opinion, so far, the best guy he's fought in his career is Michael McKinson.
Yeah.
But this is a much different level than Michael McKinson. And I'm gonna finally get a chance to see just how good is the Vergil Ortiz power jab, because I've always said the Vergil Ortiz power jab, I feel really and truthfully is the best in the business.
Who's your favorite?
Vergil Ortiz.
You out of your fucking mind.
You go for Tim?
You out of your fucking mind. Well, I'm going fucking Tszyu. Tszyu got more experience. Tszyu know what I gotta do. Vergil got that beautiful right jab, whatever you always tell me. You got a jab. I like his pressure, Mexican pressure when we come forward and everything. But Tszyu, if Tszyu didn't get hurt with Fondora with this thing, he would have beat Fondora. He would have been world champion. And I'll tell you what, he's gonna come out here and prove a point.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like
he's gonna humble Ortiz and everybody else that don't think that Tszyu's gonna beat him.
I'm gonna tell you like
I'm riding with Tszyu. Australia, stand up.
I'm gonna tell you straight like this. If you thought he had problems with his eyes and his bleeding last fight, don't worry. Vergil gonna close his fucking eyes shut this fight. Vergil's gonna beat Tim Tszyu to a freaking pulp this fight.
No,
the power jab's gonna be too much for him.
So you're saying the pressure.
I like Tim, but Tim fights with his balls too much. And there's certain fighters you can't fight with your balls against. You can't use just your balls and have leaky defense against a guy like Vergil Ortiz. He's too surgical.
I mean, I think, and I like Vergil Ortiz. He's got a beautiful right, like Brendan said. He's got a right jab, and he's got when he's going for the kill, he pressures you. He does everything right. I'm not hating on him but he's gonna come up. I don't think he has enough experience to beat a Tim Tszyu. You're saying that Tim Tszyu have no. You're saying that Tim Tszyu have not enough defense to withstand the power. And
it's not just the power, because when I talk about Vergil Ortiz, if you notice, I never talk about his power. I always talk about his power jab. I talk about his balance. I talk about his work rate. I'm telling you right now, Tim Tszyu cannot outvolume Vergil Ortiz. He cannot outbox Vergil Ortiz. Maybe he might be able to win like a blood and guts, maybe. But coming off the Fondora fight where he lost so much blood, this is one of the worst fights he could have taken.
Has Tim Tszyu fought any fighter
Vergil?
Like the style of Vergil Ortiz?
No, there is no fighter that he could possibly fight with the style of Vergil Ortiz. I'm talking about like the most educated one. It's one of the most educated jabs in the entire sport in any weight class, not just 54, not 40.
Tszyu can take that away from him and counter and whatever.
Tim Tszyu is like straight high guard, aggressive counter puncher. Puts himself in the position to get hit a lot.
So you're saying he's perfect for
I think it's a great, it's gonna be a fun fight. I think Tszyu will have his moments here and there, but I think in the end, the balance, the power jab, the work rate of a Vergil Ortiz is gonna slowly and methodically break down Tim Tszyu.
Do you know who Tim Tszyu is?
It's a very good fight. I like Tim Tszyu.
Tim Tszyu is gonna show him experience. I always told you, and people always tell me, "Fuck that experience shit." No, before, but I think Tszyu gonna ride on this one.
Robert Sanchez, shout out to him. He was here earlier. He's here again. Thank you for calling both lives. He says, Vergil better make weight. Yeah, that's the one thing, right? Because we had the whole debacle with the Stanionis fight last year. He didn't make weight twice. He's in a new weight class now. And there's this growing trend in boxing. When guys move up the weight class, they immediately start saying, I can't make the weight in the new weight class. So I don't want to hear about weight problems. He needs to be making this weight and be making it soundly and comfortably.
But technically, if he's moving up, exactly what you just said. So if he can make that weight, there's no. This should be.
But it's like I think a guy's
I would just say this.
Like Louis Neri, when he moved up, he said, he had like one fight. I think he went from 118 to 122. He had a couple fights at 122. Then he said, I got to move to 126, and he just showed a lot of discipline. Same thing for now, like Stephen Foreign. Stephen Foreign hasn't even had one fight at featherweight, and he's already been teasing a move to 130.
Listen, I'm gonna put it like this. To me, this is the first time, second time. Second fight, right? 154 for Vergil. I think Vergil is gonna be tested. I think he will go out there, beat that guy Molona, whatever his name is. He's gonna beat him, fine for him. But you're fighting somebody like Tszyu. I think Tszyu's gonna bring it more, and more so, Tszyu's gonna bring it more. Even you're talking about his bleeding, all this shit, because he lost that fight for Fundora, so he's gonna come out here and make a better point against this guy right here. This guy can bring the pressure on this guy, but I think Tszyu will counter him.
Shout out to Howard, the super chat. He says Henry Garcia is the best father coach in the world, and I'm gonna listen. I know Howard, you're gassed to Henry Garcia because Henry Garcia told Eddie Hearn that he's a piece of shit. So Howard really enjoyed that.
No,
now he likes Henry Garcia.
You know who's the best? I'm gonna tell you straight.
Tell him, Pop.
The fuck up. Who's the best trainer? Quiet. You know when they say the sound. You know, watch out for the silent killers because they fuck you up before you blink your eye. His name is Miguel Leo. If you don't know who he is, you better do your motherfucking homework.
There you go. I'll second that. And apart from Miguel Leo, I'll say Shingo Inoue and Anatoly Lomachenko. Yep. You know, those are also great. And Teofimo Lopez Sr., the trainer of the year.
Yeah. You still talking that? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited for that fight. I'm excited for the I'm getting far myself. So
but as far as listen, I'll tell you this. If Crawford is victorious against Madrimov, which many people think he's going to be victorious against Madrimov, I want Crawford to fight the winner of this fight.
Oh shit!
I would love to see Terence Crawford fight Vergil Ortiz. That's a fight I always wanted to see. I think again, I know a lot of people probably wouldn't give Vergil a chance, but again, I reiterate, and I will reiterate this until.
Are you saying that?
I will always reiterate this. That power jab is the equalizer to anybody.
Let me ask you a question.
And his balance.
Has Crawford fought a fighter? Hold on. But the beautiful power jab that he's got and that pressure that he brings on you constantly as the fight goes on.
Yeah, you know who that was? Errol Spence.
No. He's trolling me on that, right? Are you serious?
Errol Spence has a very good jab.
He ain't better than fucking Ortiz. No way. He ain't better than Ortiz.
I don't think that version of him was better than Vergil.
No,
Ortiz.
At that night, and all due respect to Spence.
Nah, he hasn't fought anyone like Vergil. And I would love that fight because again.
Hold on, I'll say one more thing. Would you think him switching from southpaw to orthodox? You know that all the tools that Crawford brings to the table, would that affect Vergil if they ever fought? That's the question that they want to ask you.
Make the fight.
Okay.
Make the damn fight. I don't know. Who cares? Like I'm tired. Like I'm not gonna anoint nobody no more. Make the damn fights.
And we gotta see them.
Gotta see them. Like I don't give a damn if it's Crawford, Boots, Inoue, whomever it may be. We're not anointing anybody anymore. Tank. Whoever, if they really are that great, make the fight, and we'll find out in the ring where the truth always gets told.
Okay,
you know
that's a good point.
Let's do that. Shout out to my guy Red. He says salute to BT and Popson.
God bless you,
Next
Red.
Gen Combat Sports TV said what's good, man. Just here doing the second live of the day after I did 2 workouts today. So the 2 and 2 special.
That's it.
You know, being productive, being a productive member of society. You know. Red says Ortiz. Yes, it will be. To me, it's the most interesting fight on the card because now we get to really finally see how good is Vergil Ortiz. I think David made the point. Somebody made the point that and Derek said it. If Vergil is strong and explosive, he stops timid, and he's never not been those things. He's always been strong and explosive. Yeah. Those are some great adjectives that you could use to describe Vergil Ortiz.
And Vergil's always been big anyway for the weight, so he's gonna come in there big anyway. He's gonna test Tszyu.
Kevin FX says Golden Boy is very strategic with matchmaking. They must be confident with Vergil to allow exactly. And I'm confident in Vergil. Again, I don't care if it's Crawford. I don't care if it's Tszyu. I don't care if it's Boots. Anyone who fights Vergil Ortiz is in for hell on earth because of that power jab he's got. the balance he's got, the work rate he's got. People keep looking at it. I feel like Vergil Ortiz, and obviously he hasn't fought the caliber of opposition as a guy I'm about to mention, but he kind of, when people talk about him, he kind of goes through the same thing that Archer Beterbiev goes through, because they look at his record, he's got all knockouts, and they don't even realize that he's actually a complete fighter. He can actually box, he can punch, he can do a lot of things in that boxing ring. You know, they don't see the full picture of what he really brings to the table, you know?
We're about to find out.
Right? We got another super chat from Haro. He says, "Man, where are those non PBC prime events?"
What's his point?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Are you saying what's going on with PBC? Oh, they're not putting the big fights on. I will say, isn't Rayo PBC fighter? Isn't Cruz a PBC fighter?
Yeah. So
what you're getting at?
We're gonna get there in a second. Okay. But shout out to all 32 of you. Make sure you smash that like button so that the algorithms let the YouTube people know. You
super
like
chat, if you got that money. Not bless you. Thank you for hitting the like button.
Robert wants to know who would I want to see between Crawford versus Fundora or Crawford versus Vergil? Definitely Crawford versus Vergil. Like, I know Hiro loves Fundora. I'm not the biggest Fundora guy. I have always thought Vergil Ortiz versus Crawford was one of the best fights when they're both at welterweight. Now that they're both at 54 at a weight class that's going to make both fighters more, they can make the weight more comfortably. It's an even better fight to me. So
I think either one that
I want to see how Terrence Crawford neutralizes
Vergil.
Yeah, man. I want to see how he neutralizes the power jab of Vergil.
That's not going to happen. That pressure that he brings,
I think he could.
No,
it's a tough task. I think he could.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Crawford, but that pressure that fucking
because Terrence Crawford's instincts
is a different pressure. Ain't all this mess is coming forward.
Terrence Crawford's instincts is.
I like Crawford, but I've seen him rock a couple times. Let's be honest. Come on.
Boxing is a contact sport.
So Vergil can rock. If Vergil rocks Crawford, I'm telling you, he's gonna go for the kill.
And we know if Crawford rocks Vergil,
no, I don't see that. I don't think his power is as big as Ortiz. Anyways, on to the next.
David Esther, shout out to him for the $5 super chat. He says, "How is Gary and Anton Russell fighting Edwin Los Angeles, but leading PBC?" I've heard all kinds of things about that. No, I've heard all kinds of things about that. I've heard that that's fake and whatnot. It's not really true. He's not leading PBC, but if that were to come true, then that'd be great. I don't even care. Listen, Gary and Anton Russell could fight Pops or me, and I'd be excited to see it because we haven't seen Gary and Anton Russell fight
for a minute, man.
Long time. So.
Yeah. We have to time will tell.
I don't think he's leaving though. That's my honest opinion. I don't think he's leaving. I've heard he's not leaving. So, yeah. But thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
David says, I think Tim Tszyu's loss to Fundora was a fluke, but he shouldn't have lost to him. Cut or not, he was coming off of a KO loss to Brian Mendoza. And look, Brian Mendoza, his went aging gracefully.
You can't say that because the way that cut was, like literally on his hip, like right here, it was a bad cut. So you can't say that. And you gotta respect Tszyu, because Tszyu after the fight could say, okay, fuck it. I got my ass kicked. I'm gonna move on, which he actually admitted to. But what he's saying is, I'll fight anybody else. Come on, I'll take it back. So that mentality, even after that serious cut of the elbow, whatever hit him, he was willing to say, like, I'm here for everybody. I'm gonna go for everybody. And for him to take the challenge against against Vergil, that tells me a lot about him. I'm sorry to say. He fought Fundora, he got elbowed him, whatever the fuck happened there. After all that bleeding and what Brendan was saying is gonna affect him, I don't think so. I think he's going to come here and prove another point. And I could be wrong. Pop's always wrong.
Next Gen says, I don't think Crawford's trying to get in there with any of them young guys.
He probably not. That's why he called who he wanted to call. He got that choice.
He said, Terrence Crawford did say that Israel Majimov is clearly the best in the division. That's why he's fighting.
Who's the best in the division, honestly?
It doesn't matter. The division, like none of the champ, like Majimov just won the belt. Bakram just won the belt. Fundora, like all the guys that won the belts are new. Nobody's really separated themselves.
A big name like Fundora or
Fundora
Tszyu
is not a big name.
People know who Fundora is in boxing. I would ask, like, who the fuck is Majwa? Who the fuck is Majwa?
The golden boy of Uzbek boxing. You better
look about. God bless Uzbek boxing for being here in the United States of America.
Uzbekistan.
But I don't
tired
think,
of Uzbekistan.
And I get why he's fighting him, but I'm not really excited about that fight. I'm sorry. On to the next. Shout out to Hyro again with another super chat. He says, what are your thoughts on 126 Russell versus Edwin De Los Santos? Gary? That's not no damn fight that happened. I don't know. Gary hasn't
I literally have not seen or heard Gary since I interviewed Gary in December of 2023.
I mean, and he was having a good conversation with us.
I like Gary.
I think I'll be honest about Gary. I think Gary is going to take the torch. Rest in peace. All respect to the Russell family. His dad that passed away, and I think he's going to walk with that torch of his father and teach his other brothers how to be a better boxer. That's what I feel. Shout
out to my guy, Pro Box's very own
Daniel Rubin. What's up? Go Montreal Canadiens. Let's go Panthers.
I gotta actually. I didn't catch a Pro Box.
We missed the whole thing.
I know you had Cardenas, you had Max Ornelas. You know, shout out to Pro Box. Make sure you guys tune in and support Pro Box TV. Because if you don't support Pro Box TV, you don't support.
It's funny you say that because I was watching. I was in Miami Beach today, and I was at a government building, and I was talking to a security guard, and I was telling him about your channel, how good it is, and everything. And then I says, "Well, who does he go see?" And I go, "He goes and watch the best channel in boxing, Pro Box TV." And the guy goes, "Oh, I was there. I went out there to go see Pro Box TV." But he was one of the Puerto Rican fighters, Patufo. He went. I don't know if you know Patufo. You know,
yeah,
Patufo.
Christopher Diaz.
Yeah. And he was telling me, he's like, "Yeah, what Patufo?" He's like, "That's a good channel." I said, "Follow and recommend everybody to Pro Box TV because they're on it."
There you go. Shout out to Pro Box.
That was today. I was talking to the guy.
Yeah, and shout out to Kenton for bringing up a great point. Fundura is not an option for anybody because he's out till November because of all the cuts and all the damage he sustained in the fight. So
damn, he got fucked up that bad?
Yeah. I mean,
not that bad. Come on.
They're both
got hurt
bleeding. No. The blood that both them lost was
so crazy. The belt's still up in the air. Then nobody wants the belt then, right?
Listen, everybody who has a belt at 54 just won the belt. There's no clear-cut guy.
There's no undisputed the king of okay.
So, you know, there's like
good point, Kansas. Thank you.
Honestly, like when Terrence Crawford says that Madrimov is the best in the division, that's just him popping up his opponent. So when he beats him, he can, which is what a fighter should do.
Yeah.
A fighter should never like downplay the ability of their opponent because look at Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney called Ryan Garcia a C-class fighter and a bitch and all these things and put all these things, right? So if you're fighting a C-class fighter and a bitch and all these things, then if you would have beat him, you wouldn't have deserved any credit because you fought a bitch and a C-class fighter. Crawford's propping up Madrimov, so if he beats him and becomes champion, then he can say, "Look, I beat the best guy."
But let's be honest on this live. Are you anybody? What's the majority here think about that fucking fight?
We'll take a poll. What do you guys think? Is there anybody here that honestly thinks Madrimov is going to beat Terrence Crawford in August?
Hell fucking no.
You didn't watch the guy fight.
I don't care. He's not beating. I don't know shit about this guy. And what you always tell me? If Pops don't know him, you don't know much about him. But Brendan's giving him respect, so I gotta give him respect. I'm just saying that I think they're biggest fight for Crawford. That shit's like a
Hidden Revolt says no, and Kevin Effect says hell no.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna go with my boy Henry Revolt, and I'm gonna go with him.
All right, we're gonna switch gears a little bit because there's a couple fights we gotta run through in the card.
Okay, go ahead.
Make sure you guys smash that like button.
Hit that like button, guys.
We're like 39 minutes in. We're gonna be probably like another 45, 50 minutes or so.
You want me to super chat you? I'm gonna give you the cash out.
You're gonna super chat me?
Yeah, you want to super chat? You want cash out?
After the live, we'll handle that. After the live.